Nice Bentley.
Oh, because of the...
But
Yeah, but yours has the...
Woohoo! You're watching Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James.
And this is the original W12 Bentley Bentayga, which these days you can pick up for pocket change. Tuppence, as James or Mary Poppins would say.
Oh, is that that?
Okay, no, it's like $150,000 US still, and just under $200,000 Canadian. And if you want the real glitz and glamour in an SUV, this is the way to do it.
Or, for less than half the price, even though you get half the cylinders, if you want something that looks almost the same, there's the Genesis GV80, which today we're going to find out if it's enough to make this Bentayga Genesis to exist. I'm sorry.
The Bentley Bentayga, the world's first ultra-luxury SUV. It's doing what ultra-luxury cars do best, depreciating. Used prices for these start at about $129,000 US, or $165,000 Canadian, and go all the way up to, well, the price of a new Bentayga, which, well spec'd, will run you almost double that. So on the used spectrum, this 2017 would be right there with the cheapest, and potentially represent the best value Bentayga there is.
Interesting that you mentioned value, Thomas, because wha-bam! This is the new Genesis SUV, the GV80. At first glance, there's no denying the strong resemblance to the Bentayga. Fully spec'd, it gets a turboed 6 and all the luxury you could ever need or want. As is, it's $85,000 Canadian. Checkmate.
James, you can't just say checkmate. This is the start of the video.
Checkmate! And a massive thank you to Sam and Ali at Sam McDaddy Real Estate for entrusting us with the Bentayga.
If you're new to Throttle House, we do car reviews, track tests, and quite a lot of messing around. So subscribe and hit the bell.
Okay, so yes, they are very similar.
Yes.
Let's just talk about it, because there is some originality going on here,
Okay.
right? We have chrome cross-hatching on the grille and throughout the front of the stuff. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
The emblem, Genesis has come through this emblem, right?
Yeah.
New gen. It's got the badge followed by wings coming out of.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. You're 2 for 2.
Yep.
This has cool forward-facing streaks.
Yeah, that could be mistaken for a bee, kind of, right?
Oh yeah, no, that does.
Yeah.
Okay, what about chrome roof rails?
I don't have those.
With a chrome window surround.
Yeah.
All right, I'll tell you where I got you though.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Genesis, they've distinguished themselves and they've done these very wide tailpipes on the back to make sure that there's
Yeah. So, they're made by the same designer.
Yes.
And it shows very much.
Yeah.
This literally looks like this student handed in their homework the following year and used a thesaurus to change some words and change the title. That's literally what this is.
It is very similar. Credits to Genesis though. It is a very good looking vehicle.
Yeah, it is.
And there's some things going on here. Like this, the way this line comes in around the Genesis badge and goes back on the bonnet is very cool. It has the slope, there's a rear wheel drive focus to it.
Yeah, it has the big, long, sloping hood. And honestly, I really like these grills. They fit the personality of Genesis
the designer
a lot.
said that it needed a big face, right?
Yes.
He pointed to the Escalade. I was reading about this. He said that America needs a big face. That's what he said exactly.
Is that what it was? Okay.
It needs a big face, and this has the big face.
Yes, I like the headlights too. I like the division between them, and I like how the two match the two on the side. I think that's really neat.
This is part of their new design language. This is the same guy, by the way, that designed the C6Z06 Corvette.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. It doesn't look anything like that, so obviously a burst of originality.
He was on an acid trip for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so this is obviously, there has been a facelift to this car.
Yes, this is 2017. This is the first one.
It's the cheapest one we can get. That's the whole idea, right? But now the new one is a bit of a bigger grille and more oval lights, and that's it. Otherwise, it looks exactly the same. From the side, I think that's the moment where you go, I see the similarities. It's like the proportions
From every
are-
side.
Okay, fine.
We got
Every
these. We got
side.
these car wash this morning.
Yes.
And the car wash guy
Yeah.
loves Throttle House.
Yeah.
And he's always saying, "Oh, you got this, you got that."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, why are you doing two of the same car today?" Like completely not ironically.
Just innocently.
And I was like, "They're not." And he was like, "Oh." Proof's in the pudding, mate.
yeah, exactly.
All right. What about the inside?
Okay, you want to start with the Bentley?
Okay.
Okay.
Thomas, it's soft close.
Oh my God!
Couple of
every
hundred
time.
grand gets you soft close.
How do I never remember? Not even a couple $100 grand. You can get soft close in some cheap cars these days.
Yeah. You know what has soft close?
What?
That Genesis over there.
Okay, well, let's just focus on the Bentley first, because this is a really, 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 really nice
It's very
interior.
opulent in here.
It is. And also, usually we always see these in cream colors. I really like this kind of like black and red-ish contrast. I think it's really nice. But here's the best part about a Bentley, or when you get to the Bentley and then up to Rolls-Royce. Every single thing is trimmed in leather.
Everything.
Everything.
Everything
Sun
up here, the
visors, yep.
headliners.
And my favorite part, the kick panel down there by your foot, past the speaker, that's trimmed in leather with like a stitch in it.
Good. I deserve it.
It's great, exactly. And it's the details that matter, right? When you pay this much for a car. Like, for example, the steering wheel adjuster down here is not just a little piece of plastic. It's like one of these knobs with the bezeling on it. And it's out of the way. No one would ever see it, but when you reach down, you feel it. You go, I spent a lot of money.
It's
That's what it
also
feels
very
like.
easy to get on with, right?
It
There's
is.
nothing complex about this. It's
'Cause
very familiar.
Audi.
It's Audi.
It's
It is
an Audi. Yeah. The steering wheel is really nice. I like the way that the stitching is done. The gauge cluster for me is one of the highlights in this car, because it's the perfect blend of analog and digital.
It's clean.
It is really, really clean. The new Bentley has gone to a full digital.
I don't remember having a problem with that though.
I don't, but I really do like analog gauges.
It depends how you execute on the digital gauge, and we'll talk about that in the GV80 in a second. I
Okay.
have some thoughts on that.
Okay, interesting.
Seats are very
The
comfortable.
seats are very comfortable, yes. And there's a clock. It's a Bentley clock.
Ben, that's fancy.
Yeah, it's
If you were
not.
wearing a Bentley watch, I think you were
I would
fancy.
never wear a Bentley watch.
Yes, you
Swiss
would.
brands only. I don't know, maybe Bentley makes clocks. I have
You
no
can
idea.
sell 6 of your cars and buy one watch.
One Bentley watch,
It'll probably
exactly.
just get you a cheap Disney watch.
Yeah, this is a really, really nice interior, and even today, even at the price these cars are at now, they've depreciated a bit to about $200,000. This is still a $200,000 interior.
Do you think so?
This is a $200,000 interior. You're getting every single thing that I would expect in a car of this level. The only thing that dates it is the infotainment, right? The new
But
Bentley
this is
stuff.
only 3 years old. That already looks quite dated.
Yeah, because that's like old Audi stuff, right? And this unfortunately really dates the interior. The rest of it is completely timeless. In my
But it
opinion.
has since. Then, if you were to buy a brand new one, it's been faced.
And how much are those? Yeah.
Like $350.
Yeah, they're a
Canadian,
lot
yeah.
of money. So if you want a Bentley, 200 grand, this is what you get. Really, really nice stuff.
All right, you want to see what you can get for 85 grand?
85's a big difference.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it.
Right, soft close.
Oh,
2 years. 2 years. I've been
one
in
day
this
I will.
with you.
One day I will remember. Okay, wow, this is actually really nice, but
It is.
you immediately notice a difference.
Yeah,
don't you?
I haven't. This is the first time I've jumped out of the Bentley into this.
Yeah, and there's like a lack of solidity. Now, this is very nice, but like there's just like a level up
But-
of like how the door feels and how the car moves.
Credit
like-
to Genesis though. Everything is pretty much leather wrapped, apart from down here.
Yeah, that's plastic.
And if you really look for it, you can find things that don't match the Bentley. Like on the steering wheel, you've got this material.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
on the touch points, it's soft, it's leather.
I really like that steering wheel. I'm gonna point that out right away. I think that's so cool.
So I couldn't make up my mind on this.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bit too old
No.
vibe.
No,
I think
it's like it's adventurous. It's different. Everyone's doing the same type of
And
steering
I
wheel these days.
appreciate them for
I
that.
think it's
so
really
I
neat.
don't want to knock it down because it's different and it's new.
I like it.
I have a problem with the gauge cluster. This is a 3D gauge cluster. The problem is it's 3D in the way that a Nintendo 3DS was 3D. It doesn't feel new gen, it feels like old gen 3D. It's put everything on a different plane. So it's showing me the car adaptive cruise control in front of the gauge clusters. The gauge clusters are the furthest back. But
Okay.
can you see it still moving right now?
It's flickering for me.
It's using a camera to find where my eyes are, and it's adjusting the 3D to optimize it for me. But
Oh.
it doesn't seem to know where it wants me to be. And when I lean forward or I lean back,
it changes and it's slow. It kind of does like a vibration and then goes sharp.
Okay, so it's excellent in concept, but in practice it's not quite
I don't think it's even excellent in concept. What would it add to have 3D? You already have a problem with digital gauge clusters.
because
now they're doing this.
No, this is the future of them though. Because I don't want them to look like a screen, I want them to look like gauges. And if sometime in the future, in the next gen, if they can make a digital gauge cluster look like real gauges, that's really cool.
Okay, well then this hasn't satisfied it.
It looks a bit weird for me right now.
Yeah, so it's set to maximum right now. You can have it off, and if you get this car, turn it off. This 14-inch screen is really good.
That's massive.
It feels, it looks like it shouldn't be touchscreen. It feels far away.
Is it a touchscreen?
It's touchscreen.
Thank
It's a
you.
full touchscreen.
How hard is that, right?
It's very pretty. There is a lot of stuff in this 14-inch screen. It's not just, the best bit about it is not that it's a touchscreen.
Okay.
First of all, everyone loves the nature sounds.
What do you mean?
It has sounds of nature.
Oh.
So this is open air cafe. And
This is so stupid.
It's like someone's about to drop their tray on you.
This is actually very relaxing. I take back what I said.
This can't possibly relax you.
I just want to be in an Italian cafe and order an espresso. This is honestly so relaxing for me, open air cafe. There's calm sea waves, rainy day, warm fireplace. There's something for everybody.
Yes.
This is cool, actually. I like this.
And that brings me to these things as well, because this is a kind of like an iPod, an original iPod.
Yeah, big wheel. It's cool.
But it feels a little bit old gen already compared to what's out there.
Okay.
But it's easy to get on with, so I can't complain. One thing that they have done, which is an interesting decision, is normally this is a brand new car, right?
Yeah.
In every single way.
Yeah.
There's no USB-C, it's just USB.
Yeah.
You know, a new gen car, to not even have it, it's a strange...
It is. They should have both nowadays.
Yeah.
This is the gear selector. It's cool. Does this light up?
Yeah, and it's glass as well, so there's a nice weight to it. It's actually very satisfying.
That is
to
nice.
push, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And this stuff, this looks like it's out of JLR. These turning things.
They do. That's very Land Rover.
Yeah. It's a smorgasbord.
It is.
Of
The
a lot of
steering
good
wheel,
things.
by the way, I want to point it out. I really respect them for doing something different.
I respect them,
But you don't like it, do
but
you?
I don't really. I thought I would.
I think it's great. I think it's really great. I like the design, the two-spoke. It's unique, and you know what? It's different to the G80
And the G70.
and the G70.
And the G90.
There you go. How hard is that? Put a unique steering wheel for each car.
No, I hear what you're saying. I don't want to knock them for it. It's not my taste, but you know, there's different tastes.
Yeah.
Beyond that, good job. In the GV80,
It's not slow.
you hear the sound of that turboed 6.
Yeah. What's the word? Coarse.
Yeah, not
That's
great.
it.
I think
Yeah.
it's not that German smoothness.
No,
However,
it's not.
I have to be honest, I've been living with this,
Yep.
and I'm so impressed with it.
Really.
Really like it.
Well, what I can tell you right now is that the ride is immediately fantastic.
It's great. They've done great stuff with that. There's a forward-facing camera as well, so the suspension adjusts when it expects to have impact.
Oh, like the Audis do.
Like
right?
the Audis
yeah,
do.
Yeah, yeah.
It's got the noise cancelling thing, so it makes it sound more refined inside. I don't know how much that's succeeding.
Well, this is pretty quiet.
It's pretty quiet.
There's a little bit of noise for me coming in by this door back here, but other than that, I mean, it's quite.
Yeah.
These seats are really comfortable. These recline.
They do. They recline a ridiculous amount, actually.
Yeah. How do I do it though?
And my seat's particularly warm right now.
Ooh, nice.
They go back.
Yeah.
And there is a
and
third
they're
row.
cooled.
They're cooled seats, but this is remember this is the top trip.
Okay.
And there's a third row, which is very small.
What do you mean there's a third row?
This is a 3-row car.
You serious?
Yeah.
How did I not even know that?
It's just not particularly comfortable. It's for animals and kids.
One and the same, some might say.
Yeah.
Okay, so put your foot down, and I'm noticing a backward-facing tack. That's very Aston Martin.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You don't?
The revs going anti-clockwise.
I think it's cool because then the needles chase each other up to the center. I think it's kind of
Oh, that sounds cool, except it's not useful.
I know it's fun.
BMW do the same thing. I don't
BMW
like it.
executes it very poorly.
Yes, and so this looks weird. It looks like I'm slowing down, like instinctively.
Okay, I see.
But take it into a corner.
Oh, the tire squeal.
The tire squealed a bit, but like, You know, Albert Bierman's had his hands on this.
Yes, it looks pretty sharp from where I'm. Wow.
You can feel it. You
are
feel
hustling this thing.
And you can do it with absolute confidence. This, you know, loss of traction there, and
no, but you know what just happened there.
Poop into my pants.
This is a poo. But you know what just happened there is that was limit oversteer.
It was, and this is this drives very rear-wheel drive.
Because it's a longitudinally mounted engine.
And that's their focus. Genesis want that to be their focus. And you've got to give them credit for it. I mean, maybe they don't deserve that much credit for jumping into an SUV world with just sedans for 5 years. Interesting decision. It's like, they're doing the plane where it's like, oh,
and then on the last second,
it's an interesting tactic. Let's see if it pays off.
No, this feels fantastic. Oh, these seats are way too hot. Wow.
No,
3 settings though.
I want it. I want hot.
But you know what? Like the way that this rides, it's not. What's the word? It controls its mass very well. So it puts some money into the dampers, but it's very, very soft.
The steering is quite heavy. Like it's heavier than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
In a luxury SUV.
But the thing is that the mark of a really, really good luxury vehicle is utter insulation from the road for the driver. Is that what you're getting here?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
But you are really boogieing through these corners.
I am, and what's wonderful is that when I brake, the car doesn't pitch that much. Look.
Yeah.
It's flat.
No, they did a really good job tuning the dampers. That's Bierman. That's Albert Bierman. That's what this is.
Here's my question. Do you think you'd save money? Do you think you'd try and get the 4-cylinder of this, the 2.5 litre?
No, I think this is the correct amount of power for this car.
I agree.
Right.
I agree. It drives smaller than it is. This thing weighs like 5,000 pounds.
So not that heavy, all things considered.
Yeah, it's like 300 pounds lighter than the Bentayga. So I'm curious to see how that is, because I guarantee that's going to feel heavier. This drives smaller than a 3-row SUV.
Well, okay, so conclusion about the way this drives, go ahead.
Absolutely great.
Yeah.
I have zero complaints. Just maybe if the engine could be a bit more refined, or I'd like an extra power option. I've been spoiled with 4.4 litre BMW smooth V8. It would be cool if they chucked a V8 in this.
But is it a cut price Bentley?
Let's find out.
James, this is the difference between your car and mine.
Yeah, that's some horsepower.
This is a twin-turbo W12.
Listen, I have you know...
That sentence is crazy.
The Genesis was putting out a very humble 375 horsepower. All right, this has 600 horsepower.
600 horsepower.
That's not fair.
Do you know what this car feels like? And like just like the urgency of that engine and the immediacy of it under your foot. You know what it actually feels like? This is the best way I can describe it. It feels like you're standing at the top of a cliff and you've got your foot on a massive boulder. The potential energy just to over the I can feel it.
It feels unlimited.
Oh, it just feels so good. It hustles in a straight line in a way that you don't really expect it to. Even though you know it's fast and you know it's got all the cylinders, put your foot down, it catches you off guard every time.
And it feels insulated in here, like
obviously,
but more insulated than the Genesis.
Yeah, but not by much.
No, and the ride isn't like a league above. It is just better.
The ride is better, but it's not, as you say, in a different class. It really isn't. The thing is, though, Bentley has made a high-performance SUV here that just kind of goes the extra mile. The issue that I usually have with high-performance SUVs is that they sacrifice too much comfort for performance. That's not the case with the Bentayga. When they engineered it, they spared no expense. For example, the anti-roll bar, which is the bar that runs across the front and the back and connects the wheels together, prevents it from leaning too much in the corners, is usually too stiff in a performance car, not in the Bentley. In this car, it's electronic. So that means in a straight line, the wheels can move independently so the ride is soft, but then it electronically stiffens them in a corner. It's crazy. All right, get back in the car.
Okay, I agree with you. And I think, we just did the comparison between the X5M competition and the RSQA and the GLE63S. And I think those vehicles set out to complete a mission that no one ever wanted the answer to.
No, but this just does everything. Like, look at this right now.
Right? This and the GV80.
Look how flat this is in the corners, James.
No, it feels great. I feel very confident. I'm not even worried. Even if you were to do a professional maneuver like I did, where I lost the back end on purpose.
On this exact corner right here? Yeah.
100%, definitely not an accident.
Yeah.
I would still feel confident.
Yeah.
The GV80 and the Bentayga have an easier time answering the question of I want a high-performance luxury SUV because they don't sacrifice anything.
No, they don't, because I don't know where these manufacturers got it, but we don't need the suspension to be as stiff as a race car. I want it to be this soft. I'm in sport mode right now, and we're still wafting. Yet it's control. That's what happens when you spend money on engineering a car. But if I put it in Bentley mode, it gives you the best of both worlds. There's obviously a bunch of other modes, you know, sand and snow and all that stuff. But Bentley mode...
Isn't that a Spartacus series?
Yeah.
Blood and sand.
It blends performance with comfort perfectly.
The Bentley mode?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm talking about comfort. It is wonderful back here.
Yep.
The leather experience continues.
Experience.
I've got this digital screen here where I can control my climate.
Yep.
I have these monitors which pop off.
Yep.
And as far as I can tell, are just full Android machines.
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
downside to those, as I'm sure you've noticed, is they kind of creak a little bit.
They do creak
over
a
the
little
bumps.
bit. They
Yeah.
do, but I feel
They're
like
making a noise.
I'm holding a full iPad, and the GV80
Yeah.
did not have that.
No, it did not.
There you go. There's a couple of $100,000.
That's at least a couple $100,000
Yeah,
right there.
and I also
Yeah.
know how to put them back on.
Hold on. Whee!
Just gonna hold on to that. And this is my book. But yeah, I've got the Bentley symbols back here.
Of course, you gotta have them.
I don't know.
They won't let you forget. There's bees everywhere on this car.
My tables that fold out. It feels wonderful back here.
This is an unbelievable car, and it is without question worth the money. It just is. Well, especially used. Not that they're super
I think it's
cheap
a bit
now.
scary with the reliability. Genesis, you got 5 years, 100,000 kilometers warranty. They come pick it up from you. That 85 grand Canadian
Yep.
includes all the stuff.
It really does include...
This doesn't include anything.
No, but it does include a badge on the front.
Question for you.
It doesn't
This
feel
is-
like a knockoff of something else.
Yeah, Genesis, what's that about?
Yeah.
Right? The most unapologetic copycat
Yeah.
that we spend the whole day walking around it thinking, are we being ridiculous? And the only answer is no.
No.
It's the bloody same. It looks insane. Anyway, question for you, Thomas. I just
Yes.
wanted to know,
Yes.
if you had 140, 150 grand to spend,
Yes.
would you get a GLE 63S or an X5M competition? Or if all things being equal, reliability, everything else, would you get this or a sports?
I'll get this any day.
You get this any day.
Yeah, there's no question, because it does all the performance that those do. Actually, it's faster.
I can see you in a Bentayga with a Bentley watch.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
really? No, you can't. I couldn't pull it off. Not even close. Okay, conclusion time. You're just holding all the technology.
I don't know how to get it back on. Yeah. Every time I went to put it back on, it fell off really scarily.
Okay.
So I'll do it when it stops.
Okay. So I want to say that I'm unbelievably impressed with Genesis. They've unabashedly copied this car. There's just no question.
It's not a copy. It's the same guy.
It's just the same car. But yeah, but they've tuned it so well. Other than the lack of sophistication in the power plant,
Yeah.
that's an unbelievable car.
I'm constantly impressed with what Genesis is putting out.
Yeah, no questions. It absolutely accomplishes the task of being a baby version of this car, which is clearly what they set out to do. But you can't deny that for the extra $1, you do get more still.
You do. And if you're going for a new Bentayga with all the new tech, it's going to be a few levels above.
Next level.
So no, for half the price you do not get the full Bentayga experience. What you do get with the GV80 is an incredibly competent vehicle that easily goes toe-to-toe with its price-matched German rivals, but with all the flair of a Bentayga on the outside.
And knockoff jokes aside, the new G80 sedan and incoming GV70 do represent a huge step toward Genesis having its own character, one that we think it quite rightly deserves. Thanks for watching.
Nice
Bentley.
Oh,
because of the. But yours has the.
This is too ridiculous.
It's so funny.
We
though.
obviously are not going to put this at the beginning of the video.